vital to our global outreach, enabling us to take the love and hope of Jesus Christ to those who need it most. Our Boots on the Ground Partnership Program physically ministers to those in desperate situations all over the world. The Israel Partnership furthers Kim's legacy of outreach to Israel and Jewish people worldwide. We invite you to become a partner today. Join us today and be part of a community that inspires hope, brings restoration to life, and often healing from the past. Together, we can make a difference, and we thank you for your ongoing support.
Hello, everybody. I'm back. I'm barely back because what I have been through over the last 2 weeks with my teeth, let me tell you, was way more than I thought it was going to be. In case you are wondering what happened, I can tell you. During my pregnancies, I had 2 pregnancies back to back in 2013 and 14, my 2 beautiful children. And I had these pregnancies were very close together, and I had a problem in that my torso is very short, and so I had no space for my stomach by the time I came to the end of both of those pregnancies. You can ask my sister who's here today. Hello, Jacqueline.
Hello.
I was huge, and one problem I had was that there was no space in my stomach for anything. I would get heartburn from heartburn from drinking water. And by the end of both pregnancies, I was sleeping sitting up because I could not even lay down. And what happened was all of the stomach acids that were coming up have caused damage to my teeth from laying down. And it damaged all of my teeth. This is what the dentist said to me. And they told me years ago this was going to be an issue. And I'm a person who I never even had a cavity. I never went to go to the dentist. And then all of a sudden just started having problems. And it got so painful for me. And then my teeth started to just break off. And then roots were getting exposed. And the agony of an exposed root in your mouth, if you've ever had that, is there's no relief. You can't take pain medication to make it go away. I would use cold water to shock the nerve. It would relieve me. Or there's mouthwashes, Orajel cells that have medication in it and disinfectant. You can put it in, that relieves it. But it is really bad. And so what started to happen to me was all of my teeth were affected. No enamel left on my teeth, no protection, just all gone. So I went to the dentist. I put it off for a while because the dentist is so expensive. And I do have dental insurance, but they consider some of these things, which I don't know why they consider this cosmetic. It is not cosmetic. But that's how they get out of paying.
That's how they get out of paying. They don't want to have to pay for your teeth.
Yeah. Even though I've been sending them money, I didn't even use the dental insurance.
Want the money.
So I had to figure out a way to pay for these teeth. And so, I'm only halfway through this process, you guys. The teeth in my mouth today are plastic. And here's where the problem is. I can't chew anything. These are temporary. On the 27th of the month, I go in and they're putting veneers over some of these teeth. So some of them are, some of them aren't. Like the bottom ones are fine, but in the back here, the back up here. Now, here's the problem. You might be able to hear it a little bit now because I had to go back into the dentist the other day to have them fix this because I was talking like this because my teeth back here were too long and they were hitting my tongue and I was walking around talking like this. And Lou said to me, "You can't go to Oklahoma." I was supposed to go to Clay Clark's event in Oklahoma with General Flynn, and I had to. I was at the dentist like the day before I was supposed to leave, in pain. Anytime I can't chew anything, no meat. I've been eating soup and pudding, and let me tell you, after a while, soup and pudding gets old. Man, I want to chew something. Oh, I would love to be able to bite into a sandwich. I can't until the end of the month.
At least you can say Barcelona the right way.
I could say Barcelona. So I was too embarrassed to go to the podcasting event at Clay Clark's this weekend with us talking like this. I'm supposed to be meeting Tim Tebow was there, but I was too embarrassed. So I didn't go. I stayed home. So here I am with you. I was supposed to have been doing the show with Clay. And Clay's going to come on with me and my mom on Saturday. So if you can still hear me a little bit the Saturday. I'm going to be talking funny, but I couldn't stay away. I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to be, what am I going to do about the show? I missed you guys last week. There's too much that happened. So I'm here. I'm here. Now, if my mouth starts to hurt, I may not go as long as normal because if it starts hurting, I'm going to have to stop because I am still in pain. Like I start getting these shooting pains up this, especially this side. It just shoots from the bottom tooth and it's sharp and it's like so I'm, I'm roughing it through today because I cannot keep my mouth shut about the things going on. Oh, yes. I know. I hadn't forgotten. I just hadn't got there. Let me put these up quickly. Here you go. QR code if you want to donate to the ministry. That's one way you can do it. And there's also a ticker. Let's put that. I love that word, ticker. It's a ticker. It's so exciting. There it is. There. So if at any point in time you feel led to give to the House of Destiny Network and the legacy of my father, Kim Clement, and our missions. Chocolate pudding. Yes, chocolate pudding. I've eaten a lot of chocolate. You know what I did? I got so bored with the chocolate pudding that I went and got the white and the chocolate with white.
Vanilla and
the butterscotch. Butterscotch pudding is delicious. I like butterscotch pudding. Butterscotch pudding. And the other thing is custard. If you go to the international section of the grocery store, there's I think it's called Ambrosia. It's in a can and it's custard. That's delicious. I had some of that.
Only at certain grocery stores? You're not going to get all of them.
No.
Only the ones that have like an international.
Yes, right. So, without any further ado, and hoping I can keep. Let me go back to the chat here because you guys have been talking. I haven't even looked. Okay, who have we got? UK, Manchester, UK. I love the UK.
Oh, no, me
I'm
too.
so sad about the things happening there because I do love it. And
Yeah.
being from South Africa, we were South Africa was a British colony. Those foul colonists. But anyway, South Africa was a my sister's here today, so you're going to hear her today. Come around and say hello, Jackie, quickly. My hair looks nice today because Jacqueline did it for me, as well as her own hair. She's a hairdresser. So here's Jack, just so you can see her. You'll hear her voice in the background. She didn't want to stay on camera, but she's in the background there, and you'll hear her. She's here, and she's also monitoring the chat. So you'll see her. She might answer some questions if she needs to, if I don't see the chat. Okay, so who do we have? South Carolina, banana pudding. I did banana pudding. I ordered some banana pudding from a barbecue place called Barbecutie that's by my house. It is so good, that banana pudding. But I'm good. I mean, I can't live on pudding. I'm sick of it. Oh, man. Do they have a steak pudding? I really want a steak. I can't chew it.
Oh, you know
A
that
burger, a sandwich.
You know, some people
chips.
puree meat down like with
Well, let
like
me
for
tell
baby
you-
food and stuff. They'll actually puree it all down.
That's right. Now, let me tell you something. That's good you brought that up. My husband, when he was 15 years old, was in a four-wheeler accident. He almost died. And his whole jaw was broken right here. They had to pin it together afterwards. And he had his jaw wired shut for 6 weeks, I believe it was. And so he could not eat anything solid because his jaw was wired shut. And everything had to be liquid. And he was going to Taco Bell and blending up burritos. I don't know if I'm going to do that. That sounds gross.
no, that's
Ice cream, yes, but I'm lactose intolerant, so I can't have too much ice cream. I can get lactose free. Smoothies have been great.
Yeah, smoothies are great idea.
Yeah, smoothies have been great. You guys have great ideas. I have some protein shakes as well. I did get that because I keep getting hungry, and then I start to feel a little bit shaky, and so then I'm downing a protein
No,
shake.
the protein shakes will actually fill you up a little bit more than the others, so like juices or something.
And that's what I've been doing if I get hungry and there's nothing to eat. Cincinnati, Ohio. Hi. Ohio. And listen, Ireland voted against all that stuff. Did you see?
What happened?
They were trying to change all the constitution in Ireland, and all the Irish people came. It was like huge, like 76% against 67. Thank you, Ireland, for voting correctly. It's so good to know you have a voice out there. We love the Irish.
Well, no,
You know, my
nothing else
favorite
that, like,
tea is the
Irish.
Irish breakfast tea. I love Irish breakfast tea, and I love the Irish. You guys are great.
Yeah, the Irish are not to be messed with. In their little island, they
True.
learned how to defend themselves very well.
Fort Knox, Kentucky, and Michigan. Listen, you guys. Someone said shiny teeth. These are plastic. Even my front teeth, I had to have them cover my front. It's all plastic. But let me tell you, when the permanent teeth are in,
Bone broth is another suggestion.
I've
That's a
been
really
using-
good one. Yeah,
yeah.
bone broth.
so anyway, I once those teeth have come in Scotland. Now here's the thing: we're Scotland. We're
We're
Scotland.
Scottish.
We're Scottish,
By
and
blood.
we my grandfather, Roger, who was my mother's father, is from the Clan Fraser, and they fought in the battle at Culloden. And our family actually has a stone there, and it was a big thing in our family on mom's side, the Fraser name, because they are of Clan Fraser. So we're Scottish on mom's side. And if you know Charlita Bassett, she came on with us last month. She was running for or is running for Dianne Feinstein's Senate seat. And she's also from the same clan. Can you believe that? She's also from Clan
That's
Fraser.
very interesting.
And for me to meet Charlene is such a
Yes.
precious person to me. And in my life now, and she came into my life via the Reawaken America tour. I met her through that, and she's an amazing person. Just, I mean, God is using her. It's just amazing. And she's also just happened to be Clan Fraser, so that was something we really bonded over. Everybody, if you want to, you can go over to the House of Destiny website. You go to houseofdestiny.org, and you can actually watch this live. Is there a codebreakers.news? So if anybody watching right now, if you want to, we actually have that open. I've got 3 viewers in there. So we're trying to like as many people who want to watch the show live. We're now live on the website too, and eventually we will be on the app as well. Click chat when you go in there as well. You'll see Codebreakers. Go to codebreakers.news and then click on the chat, and you'll be able to actually join the chat in there. So I've got that chat open. I've got YouTube over here. I've got Rumble over here. Yogurt has been huge. Someone's saying here, Essentialism says yogurt is a good source of probiotics. Yes. And I have been eating a lot of yogurt, which I really like, and the little yogurt drinks as well. I'm looking. Galveston, Texas. Had a tooth pulled last week. See, this is what happened to me. My both back teeth, I've pulled them, and they were just they're just open right now. Now, when I go in at the end of the month, they're going to put teeth in there for me, but they had to take those out. And that is the source of most of my pain. And most of it is actually on the left side. And I actually got a sore in my mouth because they had me under anesthetic for 5 hours. And that's a long time for dental work. And most of the dental work they did was on the front. So, you know, when you get dental work done, it swells in your face. Well, a lot of what they did was on the front here, and my lips swelled up so big. I looked like I had them done. It was so ridiculous. I actually have a picture of myself. It's so awful that. Oh, X! You guys are growing on X! Yay! We never have anybody on X. That's so great. So I wonder if I'm going to show you guys this picture. I'm not going to put it on the screen because I look awful, but just so you can see. This is how close we are, you guys. I'm going to show you ugly pictures of myself on the show. Here we go. This one of me smiling. You see my lips? It's reflecting. You see my lips, you guys? That was like right after I woke up, and they had me out for 5 hours at the dentist, but I don't even remember going home. I went in at 8 a.m. My husband said, I don't remember any of this. My husband picked me up. He had to carry me because they wheeled me to the car, and he said that when they told me to stand up, I stood up, but he said that was it. And he had to pick me up and put me in the car. I didn't even have my eyes open. I don't remember any of that. I got home, apparently. He put me in my bed, and I slept until 6 o'clock that night. So I had a great rest. I never sleep like that. I have such trouble sleeping. So I had a good sleep. My poor kids were very concerned when they got home from school, especially because I didn't wake up for hours after they got home too. So what a difficult time. Now, I was, like I told you earlier this week, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do this because I was in so much pain. But a lot of people have prayed for me, and I am feeling so much better. I even Amanda Grace, I called her and I told Amanda what was going on, and Amanda's been praying for me as well. But I mean, all of you guys who prayed for me, it really did help, because at the beginning of the week, I was like, everything hurt. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to do anything. And so I had to cancel Oklahoma. And then I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do the show today. And I thought, gosh, 2 weeks in a row. Like, we can't go 2 weeks. I missed you guys. So here I am. And thanks, Strumming. Strumming says, my shiny teeth and me. Listen, once this is over, I am going to be smiling bigly. I'm going to have a big grin, and you're going to all see my new teeth. France, Louisiana. My husband's going to Louisiana tomorrow. Yes, Outlander. I watched Outlander with my husband when it came out. Well, not when it came out. I think there were a few seasons in. But it was Valentine's Day, and he asked me what I wanted for Valentine's Day, and I said, I want you to watch the show with me. And he loves the show more than me now. So that is that, yes, that's where Clan Fred. And I was freaking out when I saw that name in there, because I realized, oh my goodness, that's my clan. And you know what the funny thing I found out is that the head of Clan Fraser, who is related to me in some way, I've forgotten his name. He was not an attractive person. He was quite ugly. But after the Battle of Culloden, he was beheaded by the British. And if you've ever heard the phrase laughing your head off, what it comes from him, who is my relative. This is so crazy. Before they beheaded him, they had him laying on the thing, and the guy came and chopped his head off. Well, he was laying there on the table about to have his head chopped off, and people would observe these, what are they called?
Don't know.
Not an assassination. It's called execution.
Yes.
People would come and observe the execution, and there were rows of people watching. And in the front row, the bench broke right before they chopped his head off. The bench broke, and a bunch of people fell off the bench, and he burst out laughing, and he was laughing when they chopped his head off. So that's where the phrase laughing your head off comes from. And he was my relative. Just so weird. The world's so weird. So anyway, let's get to it, guys. I've got so much to talk to you about. I'm not going to waste. I just wanted to give you an update and let you know what's going on. And if I start talking funny, we'll have to say goodbye. But I am going to stay. I'm feeling fine now, so let's do it. But let's pull up my Twitter. A lot of the stuff, I'm saying Twitter, it's X. A lot of the stuff I want to share with you today is here, but not everything, because I have a video of my dad. So turn that on. There we go. All right. I'm going to pull that over there. Okay, you guys, listen, this is so hilarious. I'm going to start with this because it's so funny. Trump went to the border, as you know, at the same day as Biden did. And there he is with Governor Abbott having a look. And watch what happens. There he is. The illegals on the other side of the fence are yelling for Trump.
They like Trump. Can you believe it? They like the governor.
Oh my goodness gracious. So that made me laugh. How do I get out of here? Watching this over. Isn't that hilarious? I laughed so hard at this, you guys, because it's so crazy. I mean, you know what he plans to do, but even those people were there on the other side. What are you guys saying? Let me have a look. What's Rumble saying? Oh, right. We're a little delayed on Rumble. So hilarious. I don't know if you other guys saw this, but it was actually Donald Trump Jr. who posted it. And he said, laugh a little, people. It's good for you. And let me tell you, we do need to have a little bit of laughter sometimes during this very intense season in the world. So I wanted to start with that. So funny. And of course, you're going to see a lot of these animal things because I get overwhelmed looking at the news, and then I have to post something about animals so we can have just a little break. But look at this. It's a jaguar and a lion, and they're friends. Aren't they sweet? They cuddle. So cute. So, oh, this one was good too. It's so sweet, this video, you guys. Let me make it bigger. So the little boy has Down syndrome, and they're doing the, this is a recreation, obviously. And he doesn't understand why the soldiers are whipping Jesus.
Oh,
I know, Jackie. I'm showing him. And
My
so
favorite
my
video. I
sister
was
loved this.
dying. He was
And so
so
he's
cute.
comforting Jesus, and he's looking at the soldiers like, what are you doing to
No,
him?
he's giving them the stink eye. No, 'cause, like, he goes and he shoves himself between.
Let's
turns
look. Let's see. Yeah, so good show. How sweet. So there you go. Something. And here's another one. Look at these guys. They're huge. Look at the size of them. They've taken over the boat. How cute. Anyway, just little things to keep us sane. Here. Okay. So this is something I wanted to talk to you guys about. So, okay, we're switching pretty quickly there from lighthearted to tense, but let's just do it. Okay, so Kathy O'Brien, she gave testimony to Congress, and this is in the 90s.
Oh, no.
The original post was from Dom Lucre, but he put the wrong year. That wasn't 1977. This video is from 1995, which she corrected in there. And you say, well, Donna, why are you playing this for us? Well,
consciously reason, and Kelly didn't have any ability to consciously reason things out or to think things out. We had this extra sense developed. We sensed things very strongly. After all, when you consider that we use, 10% of our brain, we'd been like blasted into other parts of our brain, and these parts of our brain were real perceptive on what's considered, I suppose, psychic levels by some definition. When we had a sense for things, kind of like the animals did. And we noticed that the animals loved Mark. He had these raccoons that he'd rescued. He had 3 raccoons, and they all loved him, and they hugged him, and they wrapped their arms around his neck, and they patted on his face and kissed him. And, that was really a neat thing for us to see, because we had only seen our animals abused. We lived on a farm. We had lived on a farm, and we had dogs and cats and horses and cows and guineas and chickens and all kinds of animals, all of which Alex Houston tortured or killed to keep us in line to, if we didn't do this, this would happen to our pet. And we loved our animals. Please bear this in mind, that people who abuse children oftentimes abuse animals. If you see someone...
So I just wanted you to hear a little bit of her talking. And she testified in Congress against the Clintons, and she was held, her and her daughter, by some elite sex trafficking ring. And they were slaves. And so she talks about the CIA and mind control. So you're like, oh, well, that's going a little, we're going a bit into this conspiracy stuff again. But I see it. Okay, I'm looking at this in Twitter. I see this. I'm interested in it. I listen to what she has to say. And I realized that he had put 1977. And I looked at the video, and she made reference to the Bush-Reagan years, and I could see how she was dressed, and I realized this is not 1977. She did testify before Congress in the 70s and then again in the 90s. But this particular video was... So I had commented just, it's not... I don't think this is the 70s. I think this is the 90s. Like, I'm not even really paying that much attention to her video or what she was saying. I just watched it on Twitter and just commented that just to let him know. I think that's 90s, not 70s. Because, people get weird nowadays online. You get something wrong and then they want to pick at you for that, and then people aren't actually seeing the
Point.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, long story short, the reason I'm telling you this is because something weird happened to me. So people started arguing with me about the date. It was just silly, and so I clicked on her page, and the first thing I noticed, I clicked on it, Kathy O'Brien. Yeah, I'll do it now. I'm a 30-year U.S. government whistleblower on deep state, New World Order, MK Ultra, mind control, human trafficking, and healing from it. Okay. But you know what was weird? I was not following her. I follow her now, since the other day, but I was not following her. But she was following me. And that freaked me out. So I'm still like, why is that lady following me? Like, what does she know about? I mean, it wouldn't be me personally, even. I think it would be my dad. And I followed her back and I sent her a message on Twitter. I followed her back, and because we're following each other, I was able to send her a message, and I just sent her a message, and I said, "Why are you following me? Is it because of my dad?" And she hasn't answered. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it weird that she's following me? Why would she follow me? Why would she? You know how weird that was for me to be looking at this person testifying against the Clinton and talking about MK Ultra and mind control and all this scary stuff, and then she's following me. Mel K knows her very well. Somebody's saying Mel K knows her. Well, I know Mel K. Oh, I didn't think of asking her. Maybe I should ask Mel. It could be because of Mel K. And just that happens to me once in a while, where I'll go to follow someone that I don't know anything about, and then they're already following me. And I know it's because of my dad, but I'm just wondering why this person because of my dad. You have something to say? Jackie's going to share something.
Well, maybe Dad had some things going on that we didn't know. You know what I mean? Because like he
No,
did
but
things that we
not-
didn't know about. Maybe he, I don't know.
No,
knew
but we
something.
knew enough. I mean, Dad was
Maybe she
not
heard
good
him
at keeping
talk-
his mouth shut.
I know, but maybe she heard him talk about something, and it rang with her. You know,
Could
what I
have been
mean?
that. Yes, it
You
could
know,
have been. It
yeah.
could be like Marla Maples is another one. Trump's ex that he had his daughter is it Tiffany, his daughter, with Marla Maples? Is that you guys? Is that her name? I'm looking to see your comments.
I don't know.
Snooping to see what the prophet's saying. Yes. Well, you see, I'm sure that a lot of that goes on, and I'm cool with it. I don't mind any of the people following me. I'm just her daughter's Tiffany, right? She followed me. That weirded me out too, because I'm like, oh, Marla Maples commented on something, and I clicked on her page to see, oh wow, I didn't even think to follow Marla Maples, and then she was already following me.
That's interesting.
I keep asking these people in messages, why are you following me? And they don't answer. It obviously is because of my dad, because who's going to follow me unless it's my dad? So obviously it's that. But I'm curious as to what is it about my dad that made you follow him?
Well, obviously,
Now, Marla
yeah,
Maples may
they
be a
were listening
given
to
because of the
things he
Trump
said.
prophecy. So obviously that's a given.
Well, yes.
But Kathy O'Brien, a little bit freaked out.
No, you never know. You know.
I'm not
people
scared
that
of
are paying
Kathy O'Brien.
attention.
It's just, I wonder if I could interview her. Wouldn't it be cool if we got her on here? Ah,
'Cause the
guess what,
interesting-
you guys? I've just confirmed that Gene Ho is going to be here next week. And I asked him if I can ask him about certain topic. I won't bring up all the time. I always do that with a guest. You want to make sure they're comfortable. And he is comfortable. So we're going to have a good conversation with Gene Ho next week. And so don't miss next week. He's coming. Like, he confirmed with me right before I started. I was trying to get him here today, but it was a little short notice. So he's coming next week. So there was that happened. And that, I don't know, you guys pray about that. And look around. If you're on social media, look around. We've got some people over here in the House of Destiny chat. Welcome. I'm so glad to see you, because we're really trying to grow our live situation over on our own network. And so it's nice to see Kelly and Sybil are there. Hello, Kelly and Sybil. Welcome. So good to see you there. And then who are our Twitter people? There's people on Twitter. Are you there? Wait, hang on. I don't want to miss anything up here. How do I see Twitter comments in the chat? Can I? Does it automatically? Okay, so I won't see it separate. Okay, yeah, nobody was really watching on X, Twitter, but we just kept putting it up there because we advertise on there all the time. But when you click the link, you can choose Rumble, YouTube, our network, or X. And so it's nice to see people on there because I'm really trying to grow our presence there because of the censorship not being an issue. And that makes it a lot easier for us because I'm in trouble on my own YouTube channel right now. And I'm going to have to make them. I was supposed to make them a video, wasn't I?
What? Why?
I know she is. And West Virginia Mountain Mama, you sent me something and I'm going to bring it up in a minute. If I remember, hopefully I remember and we can get you. Let's keep going. Otherwise we're going to run out of thing. Oh, I loved this little video because of the song. Laura Trump posted it. Hey, everybody excited about Laura Trump being co-chair of the RNC? That came out of nowhere. I had no idea that was coming. So super excited about her doing that. Very happy. I love Laura. She's so awesome. She has the best. That song, I used to play that song for my dad because he used to travel. My dad traveled a lot and I used to send him that song. Kelly is very excited about Laura Trump over there at the House of Destiny Network chat. I'm going to make a fuss of everybody over there. I don't know if Laura's the woman. I don't know. Somebody's asked me that. Hannah, 57 in Rumble, asked if Laura Trump is the woman. I don't know. She could be. Oh, you know what? I hate having to try to answer that question because I'll start to see, I'm looking at certain things. There's certain things with these people that I'm looking for. So whether or not I like a person, it's not going to matter. And again, I am not the announcer of prophecy fulfilled. Please don't put that on me because when a prophecy is fulfilled, like we're looking at things, trying to figure it out, mainly so that we know how to pray and that we can recognize what we need to recognize. But I have not really, right now I'm looking at Carrie Lake. Before Carrie Lake, Kayleigh McEnany was, a lot of people were like, could she be the Esther? She wrote that book, quoting from the book of Esther. But Kayleigh McEnany is not in a position where cartels would be afraid of her, and Carrie Lake is. And so that's why I'm looking at that. But I'm not announcing that. I'm not announcing it. And so many people get mad at me. All I'm doing with you guys is looking at this stuff. When a prophecy is fulfilled, you won't need me to tell you. If you know that prophecy and you see the news, that's all you need. Then you can come talk to me about it. And I have perspective, me and my sister, and we have perspective here because of the years we spent with my dad and understanding, and we grew up knowing nothing else. So we have a perspective that is helpful. But again, if God has spoken, you don't need me to tell you. I can help, but I am not the announcer, and I have been wrong. I have been wrong. And don't forget that. Another thing that happened, you guys, was the Supreme Court ruling for Trump to not be taken off ballots in states, which I thought was the correct ruling. And there's beautiful Laura Loomer. You know what? I saw people talking about Laura Loomer this week in her comments. She did all that stuff at the border. And let's have a look at her. What's she doing? She's a beautiful woman. And what I saw over the past couple of weeks, because she went to the border and was exposing a lot of stuff at the border. And look, she's very blunt person. She's very to the point. And people...
That's what you want in people in leadership positions.
It is. But
Yes.
the problem with that is that people use it against her.
Yes, they do.
And
But,
what happened, yeah, was that the people were, they 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 couldn't attack the work she was doing at the border because she was exposing so much going on at the border. And they were so angry with her for that, which is so weird. I don't know what's wrong with people. It's like she's showing you, just look. It doesn't matter whether or not you like the person, if they're showing you something. Anyway, but people were attacking her appearance and the fact that she's not married. And I'm looking at this like, that's all you have? So I just want to make a point today of saying that I think Laura Loomer is a beautiful woman. And she will get married and have her family when it's her time to do that if she wants to. But right now, God is using her. If she had a husband and a child, she wouldn't have been able to go to that border and do that work. I promise you. So let God use her how he's going to use her. And I'm going to stick up for Laura Loomer, who's another one that was following me before I followed her. I went to follow her and I was like, oh, she follows me. Why?
People hate her because she's exposing what they don't want her
Yeah,
to expose.
that's bottom line. And all they can say,
Yes.
okay, let's take a little break. Have a look.
And they know they're not supposed to be covering that stuff up.
Yeah.
They know that.
That's true. So, and all they have against her then is, oh,
What,
you
she's unmarried?
and
Big deal.
trying to tell her she's this beautiful girl. She's unattractive. It's ridiculous. So, Laura Loomer, if you can hear me, I think you're a beautiful woman, and those idiots have nothing else against you. So they're acting like children,
Yes.
attacking your appearance. And just so you know, the Clement family, we all love you and support you, and we think you are absolutely beautiful, and you don't worry about that nonsense.
And you'll find your man.
Maybe she's not wanting to find her man.
No, I know. Maybe she doesn't, but
When
she's
she's
beautiful
ready,
enough.
she'll do-
There's no reason.
Yeah. So, but let's take a break and have a look at a tiger and a bear who became friends. Aren't they so cute? Look at how the bear grooms the tiger's ear. Oh, I just love it. I hope heaven's like this, where we can all just hang out together and nobody's going to eat anybody. So, yeah, again, the Supreme Court, great. J.K. Rowling is taking no nonsense on the transgender. She's not taking any nonsense on the transgender issue at all, and I'm loving it, even though I don't agree with her on everything. Just so everybody knows, the orangutan is my favorite ape. And if you have it here, I'll make this one big because it's so adorable. He wants to look in this lady's.
Like, what's in there? He wants to look in there so bad.
He points. You want to see. He's hoping there's a treat, something he can eat, I promise.
It really helps my banana.
Tap, tap, tap. Oh, he wants those. Yes, there you go. I want to eat that, he says.
Oh, that's so good.
Now he's going to tell them where to go to give it to him. He's thinking, look, how are they going to get it to me? I'm stuck. Wait, go over here. Come here. See, he points. Come here. Look, look. Sorry, you guys. I know the show is not about animals, but I had to. It's just too cute. I can't. So, love the orangutan.
Come around.
I know. Tell them to come around. So, warning from Roger Stone. This Katrina Pearson is saying she's with Trump now because she's hoping to get elected, but she's not to be trusted. Oh, Victoria Nuland. Oh my goodness. I have to show you guys this picture. So if anybody, you don't know who Victoria Nuland is, she's the fixer. She's not partisan. Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. She was in Ukraine during Maidan and the coup, where they took over there, handing out cookies to the protesters, if you remember. If you don't know who she is. It's very telling that since the change of leadership in the RNC and what's going on, what happened with the primaries, where it is undoubtedly for Trump, I think you're seeing a lot of these people panicking, moving themselves around. She has resigned. Okay. Now, there's a picture I want to show you of Victoria Nuland. And I might have to. It's a before and after picture of a 10-year period. I think it's like 10 or 15 years. And I think, is there a way I can show them on the screen? This picture. I can't email it and bring it up? I want you guys to see it because you're not going to be able to see it on my phone. Let me do that quickly. It'll only take a second because I want you guys to see this picture of Victoria Nuland. This is what the devil does to you. Okay, I've sent it. It'll be in the emails here. Be patient, guys, because you want to see this. Did it send? You might have to. There we go. Van.
Can you not do like a screen share kind of thing?
Okay, let's put that there on the desktop. Go out of here, and then what?
Go to the streaming software.
Yeah?
And then go here to design.
Design. Oh, look, you guys. Sorry, but a little bit of technical, but I want you to see this. Oh, there we go. I can do that. Wonderful. That is great. That's great. I can do that. There you go. Just like that. And then what? I click it? Just click? Okay, have a look at this. This is Victoria Newland 15 years ago and then now. Look.
Quite the difference.
Look at that. You see this? That's what the devil does.
That's what the devil does. That's right.
Right? Let me see what you guys are saying. Deep state. She's deep state. She's with the bad guys. She's not Republican or Democrat, and she is known as the fixer. And if you ever watch Dan Bongino, I'm just reading your comments here because I want to see what you guys think. A lot of people have talked about her. Oh, someone's asking about the Snowden. I think that Snowden is Assange. For years, I wasn't sure, but lately when I'm looking at it. Okay, what did Snowden do? Snowden was, my dad prophesied, Snowden was a puppet in the hands of God, and he exposed the NSA and what they were doing about spying on Americans. The only other name like that who's come up for exposing deep state corruption is Julian Assange. The fact that he was arrested and held as a journalist sharing information that was given to him, he did not acquire it illegally, it was given to him. And he published it. That man should not be in a prison.
No, that's dangerous.
If anybody's got anything to say about communist countries and any of these other countries arresting journalists and political opponents, then somebody needs to explain about Julian Assange. And I feel very strongly about that. So I think he may be. Now, again, I'm not the announcer of prophecy, but I do know them also. I know these prophecies well. And so I'm going to bring myself back. How do I get rid of Victoria Newland? Oh, yeah, click on it
No,
again.
it's the thing. It's the whole thing
There
with the media. They're trying to silence real journalists.
That's something
real
they're definitely.
journalists.
Even
who are
Tucker
actually
Carlson.
trying to expose truth. That's,
Mhm.
that's what you want. That's what
And
you want from them.
even Tucker Carlson, if you look at Tucker Carlson and his interview with Putin and the way he was treated, look, we don't like Putin. And the point that I think we should all take from what happened there is a repeated warning my dad gave about Putin and Russia. So we have a lot of conservatives, some of them floating around thinking, oh, Putin's on our side. He is not on our side. It is to his advantage that all this stuff is going wrong because American leadership looks weak, and that's to his advantage militarily, with the presidents and the government and all that. He's quite happy to display all of the things that are going wrong in America for the rest of the world to see. And so even though we may agree with some of the things he's exposing, he does not have good intent.
Yes.
We want to fix it. He don't care. He would rather we not fix it. It's all to the advantage of their alliance over there. So and another thing that's very important to separate in your minds is the difference between governments of these countries, all of the countries that we see, all of them in the world, the government and the people, right? In America right now, does our government represent us and what we want right now?
No. Definitely not.
Okay, so when you look at other countries, for instance, Ireland is a great example right now. Does the Irish government represent the voice of the Irish people or not? Let me find this article. It's in here. Get away from Victoria Newland. That woman. Hey, get your Roger Stone. Hey, you guys see? I'm wearing the t-shirt. I'm gonna make myself big. That. Okay. See? Roger Stone did nothing wrong. It's one of my favorite t-shirts. If I wear it out in public, the looks I get. So if I don't want to be noticed, I don't wear this t-shirt. I wore it in Miami once. And the way people looked at me was so funny. But he's got the mug. So go over there to Roger's stuff. And I texted Roger today to see if he'll come on with us and answer our questions. So you can keep sending questions. Code breakers at houseofdestiny.org. I'll stick that up there on the screen in a second. Happy anniversary to Sean and his beautiful wife. Just as passing.
Yes.
Trump wins Colorado. Yay. Like we were excited. Oh, look. Wait, am I on? Yes, I am on. Okay, good. Just making sure I got this. I went full screen and then I closed it out. Is everything looking okay? Okay. Just making sure. You guys see that. How cute. Isn't that adorable? I do love it. There's more Roger. I love that picture. He was at Mar-a-Lago. And looking as stylish as ever. And here's a little bit of Laura Loomer with Trump also at Mar-a-Lago. See how pretty she is. Beautiful lady. Anybody talking bad about her looks are obviously stupid people who can't argue with anything that she's got to say. So they go after her appearance, which is just childish.
Yes, no, that's just juvenile.
Anybody who doesn't follow Michael Flynn, General Mike Flynn, please do follow him. You'll notice all those people that were running around with all those accusations about, oh, General Flynn is against Trump, him and Roger Stone and all the scheme. And it was all a bunch of nonsense. And if you notice, people were trying to warn me and say, Donna, be careful of John. I know General Flynn. Those idiots that don't know him, that don't know anything, posting stupid stuff on social media, trying to make it look like General Flynn and Roger Stone don't want Trump elected and are sacrificing babies. Like, stop. Because if you follow General Flynn yourself, you will see every single post he has is in support of, he's not trying to do anything. They don't want anyone else. They want Trump and all that other stuff. It was a bunch of nonsense. And those people are starting to disappear now because enough of us called them out. Roger posted about Charlita. They had some issues with her because, she's running for Senate. And they actually put her as a Democrat in Chinese, which is so weird. But you can see that on my page if you want to follow it. There's more of Laura Loomer. I reposted. I felt so bad for people talking bad about her. And so I posted a lot of video and picture of her looking pretty. And there's a white buffalo. Isn't that cute? How often do you see that too? So pretty. Follow Mike Lindell also. I'm sort of rushing through it a little bit now because I want to show you a video. This lady beat cancer, and look at that. Terrible. By the end of this video, it's gone and she looks completely normal again. It's so cool, this video. Really inspiring that to watch what that girl went through. Watch her. Not much longer. See, she had her surgery. Poor thing. How awful to have that growing on your head. And scary. And she got better. Yes, and she got better. See, look, they took it off and there. Oh, I just love seeing stories like that. It's just inspiring.
She looks so pretty.
She did. Okay, here we got another animal. I'm sorry, you guys, there's a lot of animal videos today, but this is so magnificent. I love him. Look at this cat, how cute. With the little hand. I love him. I want my own smush face cat. I've got 2 cats now. I want a 3rd. You guys can see I'm all about the cats now. Yes, that one's massaging. I know, because I was never into cats.
You've been about dogs
Okay,
your whole
so
life.
during the State of the Union, I know you guys, and this is something I didn't want to forget before we go over to the video. State of the Union, Trump live tweeting during the State of the Union. Now, this made me laugh so hard because this is the kind of thing my dad would have done. My dad used to use these filter apps all the time on his own face. Look at this. That is so hilarious. I'm so glad Trump has a sense of humor. Oh, man. I'm not going to go through this one right now, but if you haven't read this post, you'll recognize it by these images. I do recommend reading that. I'm not going to go through it now. Also interesting is Lance Wallnau played this video of Alex Jones. Actually, let's watch it. It's only a minute. Let's watch it.
A
Listen
cashless
to what Alex Jones said.
facts and common
90s.
sense are in. Yes, there have been corrupt empires. Yes, they manipulate. Yes, there are secret societies. Yes, there have been oligarchies throughout history. And yes, today in 2002, there is a tyrannical organization calling itself the New World Order, pushing for worldwide government, a cashless society, open borders, total and complete tyranny, where human beings are absolutely worthless. There's 6.25+ billion of us, and the globalists have said it many times. There's too many of us. We're causing a problem. We need to be culled at the tune of 80%. It's amazing to talk about that, but it's the globalists, the UN, their own public statements, and they've convinced a lot of liberals and elitist conservatives and others that by going along with this, that we're intelligent members of society. It's the ultimate Malthus world view. It is this radical, virulent form of social Darwinism. It's the excuse of tyrants. And by creating open borders where there's no national sovereignty and only global bodies that control all the resources, by centralizing and socializing health care, the state becomes God, basically, when it comes to your health. And then by releasing diseases and viruses and plagues upon us, we then basically get shoved into their system.
See? Man, look at that. I mean, the open borders thing, the whole... I have been following Alex Jones since he went to Bohemian Grove. Something my sister and I were talking about yesterday is, and I've said this to Roger Stone. I don't think he got it, though. I think I'm going to have this conversation with him in person. Bohemian Grove. What are they doing? These are grown men in the woods, in hoods, having rituals. Okay, I know the spiritual side and the danger, and like, but if you're just a regular person, you're like, this person is the Secretary of State. This person is the president. These people are running the most powerful country in the world, and they're out in the woods in hoods having rituals.
Yes, performing rituals.
It's absurd.
And then talking bad about Christians because of the rituals.
I know. But I'm not even going to go to the Christian side of things. I'm just looking at this right now, and I'm saying that it's so ridiculous if you think about what these people are doing. Like, that is so silly. Even if you are praying to Moloch and the owl god and whatever, it's so stupid. It's childish. It's like, I don't know. I can't understand like how anybody would be scared. I'm not scared of this. I think it's, I'm looking at your comments. Yeah, Illuminati. I think the Illuminati is stupid. You know, secret society with the little secrets. It's like, you're so stupid. Anyway, sorry. I think the whole secret society thing is so ridiculous and childish. I mean, come on. Where are the adults? Let's go back. Back in here.
They're like,
There's
feeling
no adults
special.
left.
They feel like they're special in their special little club.
Biden on the hot mic. Biden.
He needs to go to a retirement home.
Listen,
That
I
is
don't
what
even know.
needs to happen to that man.
My husband keeps thinking it's not him, and that person's in a mask. So,
No, if they didn't
congratulations.
wear the mask, they wouldn't make that many blunders.
No. So I just want to take this moment once again to say congratulations to Laura Trump. I'm so excited that she is the co-chair of the RNC. I am so excited, Laura. Yes. So sorry. Just very excited about that. Oh, you guys have to see this. This is a training video of a German Shepherd. No, killing a baby is not childish. But I never heard of them killing babies at Bohemian Grove.
Until that recently.
Look, and well, look, anybody
one
killing,
dude said-
that's not childish, but the idea of the secrets, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not diminishing people who have suffered at the hands of these fools. I just think it's even worse. It makes it even worse.
But Donnie, did you hear about that guy? I think he was a boxer or something. Recently, in the last week or so, he came out and said that
Oh,
they
yes.
took him to Bohemian Grove
And forced him to watch.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so
it's
that's,
like,
I'm not,
that's recent.
please understand, because I know someone was saying yeah, but the thing is, I'm not diminishing anybody who suffered from it. I'm saying the whole idea of doing that is really stupid. It's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you even sacrificing a baby? Like, if these people don't believe in God,
Yes.
but that means I don't believe them.
Yes.
It means, no, you do believe in God and you're
Yes.
rejecting him.
Yes.
So anyway, a lot is expressed.
exactly
But
right.
let me just, well, you can see the video there. I'm not going to make it big. But you see how that dog, now they're training this dog. This wasn't a real thing that happened. You can see the guy's got the big glove on his arm. But they're training this. And, for me, I sit in there, a German Shepherd named Billy saved my life when I was 5. It was at my grandmother's house, and it was her German Shepherd, and his name was Billy. And he pulled me out of the street. There was a car coming, and I had wandered off up into the street, and the dog pulled me out of the way. And I was shouting, he's biting me, he's biting me. And they're like, no, he's saving you, running to help me. But so I've always had a soft spot for those dogs.
Dramatic.
Such
Such a dramatic little thing.
I know.
Yeah.
I want to play this, what Lance said here. I think we need to
join together. Let them, speak now. My
Lance
daughter just got
on
married
right now.
yesterday, 2 days ago. And there's this moment when the preacher, my friend Ken, says, if there's any cause of this two should not be joined together, let them, speak now or forever hold their peace. And then you wait. This comes from Numbers, curiously enough, from the book of Numbers, where a father, if his daughter's to be betrothed, then he is silent. His silence is consent to what's happening. In the Bible, silence is consent, and God holds you accountable for not speaking. It's not just the sins of commission, like, you shouldn't do this and you should do that. It's the omission of not saying what you should have said and doing what you should have done and standing where you should have stood. And I'm convinced cowardice has been christened as politeness and Christian charity, when in fact it's a veil for the fact that people are afraid.
Man.
My daughter just got married.
Silence. So anybody sitting around there thinking, well, I'll just be quiet and sit this one out and see what happens. Those times are past. It is time for people to take a stand and say, no, this is wrong. Because when you don't say anything, it implies consent.
Yeah. Consent by omission.
Very good point. Look at the dog dancing, you guys. I'll make this one big. Have you ever seen a dog do this? I love that dog. I want that dog. Sorry, you guys. Oh, this. There's so much stuff. I've been gone so long. There's so much stuff to show you. So this girl, she gets on there to try to list all the horrible things that Trump is going to do when he becomes president. It ends up being like a brilliant ad for his campaign. I won't play the whole thing now, but it's pretty good. Well, actually, I guess I could. No, it's long. I don't want to waste time. I'm not doing top 10s because, again, look here. Elon Musk even said it. The current Irish government does not represent the people of Ireland. That is the point I was making to you earlier. You'll see us talking about Iran, Russia, Ukraine, China. We are not prejudice against the citizens of these countries because we actually don't know how they feel, because they are misrepresented. And the same thing is happening in America. People around the world think we want what Biden is putting out there, what CNN says. You must understand, when you leave America, CNN is the main news source for the entire world on America. So if CNN, go put on CNN, is that you to the rest of the world? No. When Biden and Harris and all these fools get up there and say the things that they're saying, are they representing you? No. So the same thing is happening in these other countries, worse. Because in America, we still have freedom of speech. We still have, the right to, we have the Constitution. We have these things that other countries don't have. Not all of them have them. And so when you think about a country like Iran, they certainly don't have them. I mean, if you want to leave Islam, they're going to kill you.
Yeah.
So you think anybody's leaving Islam? Do you think they want it? You know what I found out when I start to speak to people that live in these countries? My husband has a friend from Saudi Arabia he talks to. He doesn't believe any of it, but he has to live by the law, and the law is Islamic law first. And so you find that if people are threatened with their lives, what are they going to do? And then they're misrepresented. So we are praying for the citizens, for the people of all of these countries. We pray for them. And we pray that the corruption of government that has taken over the entire world because of the globalist movement, this was planned for decades. They've been doing this. And we thought it was conspiracy theory and we thought it was an extreme, but now it is the norm. And really to understand that, and also to understand that oftentimes we'll speak about Iran or Russia, we are not talking about the citizens of those countries, because there are Christians who are our brothers and sisters in all of these countries. In India, they are facing persecution. In Saudi Arabia, that we have never seen. It is worse than we have ever seen. In Iran, good luck being a Christian. Good luck living.
I find it really interesting.
Palestine, Palestinian, Gaza, go over there as a Christian. See what happens.
No, you know something, Donna? I've actually had people here refer to America as a Christian state.
What is?
No, not technically. There is separation of church and state.
No, I'm not talking about that, but I'm saying it's founded on Judeo-Christian values, which is what formed Western civilization, which is the most successful civilization in the history of mankind, and it was founded on Christianity, so it is a Christian nation.
It is, but the laws are not based straight out of the Bible. There's a difference between.
No, but we do base it on the Ten Commandments. We do base it on the Ten Commandments, which comes from that.
There is distinct separation.
But it's not like communist. Nobody's forced to be Christian, if that's the point you're making, right?
Yeah, no, it's like in Islamic states, like that's it.
Yeah.
That's the law.
No, we know that. So here's more on Julian Assange. I'm supporting releasing him. Somebody needs to let that man free. Here it is. Ireland rejects wokeness. And Ireland proved today that it is mostly a conservative country and that the government and most of its political parties are completely out of step with the public. The public overwhelmingly voted no to wokeness. The referendums proposed changes to their constitution, which would have expanded the definition of family from a relationship founded on marriage to include non-traditional relationships. And the Irish people rejected that, 67.7% to 32.3%. Second referendum to replace and change old-fashioned language about women to new DEI language was rejected, 73.9% to 26.1%. So there's your citizens. The Irish government came out saying, we want to change what marriage means, and we want to change what it means to be a woman. And the Irish people said, no, you won't. So, winning Ireland. We've got our Ireland person in here. Yay! Oh, too funny. So, that's what got me going on that. So, we're done with our Twitter stuff now. I'm done with that. Now, I have a video to show you before we run out of time. I'm going to share there and there. Now, this video I put up a year ago, and this is about Q. Oh, Donna, what are you doing? I am talking about Q today. I will when I'm ready. I'm just going to have a look at the comments here before I move on, making sure I know what everybody's saying. Kelly said that was a very tolerant cat. I think she means the one that was being massaged by the other cat. Actually true. If you spent any time around cats, that's kind of abnormal, but so cute. There's no law in America that separates church and state. None.
Really?
Somebody just said that in the chat.
But I
Yeah.
thought about that before.
Elijah Blaze says that Timothy Dixon, Robin Bullock, and Amanda Grace have all prophesied that the evil globalist leaders in America and other countries will be removed. Now, that is very encouraging because that is also what my dad saw. He saw it, the way he articulated it was the rise and fall of the Fourth Reich. But when he talked about it more later, it wasn't so much a rise of a fourth, would be the rise of a Fourth Reich, but he said that it was never dealt with. It was never actually gotten rid of from the Third Reich. So that's very interesting. Just looking one more time through the comments here. Synagogue of Satan, no, my dad, I don't remember my dad talking about that. Now, that doesn't mean he didn't, but I have talked to numerous people about that. And it's Revelation 3, verse 9, I will make those who are of the synagogue of Satan who claim to be Jews, though they are not. That is
Yeah.
I can't go there today, but I don't think my dad did know. I don't remember him ever speaking about that. And I've been through a lot of his footage. I've seen everything at least once, but it's 40 years of stuff. So but I don't remember him ever speaking about that. Come to us. Someone's inviting me to Australia. Oh, I love the koalas. I do love them. They're so magnificent. I would cuddle it. I would kiss it. The only thing is I'm so terrified of all the bugs and the snakes and things in Australia. Oh, it's India too. It's like both of those countries. I love them. I'm so interested, but I'm a little nervous about the bugs. Although I'm from Africa and it's just as bad there. But it traumatized me as a child. I mean, you wake up with a giant spider in your bed. Flying cockroaches. So, okay, let's have a look at this before we go today, because I'm saving time for this, because my dad prophesied in 2012, this is June of 2012. He had a series of visions. He had an experience that happened to him during a broadcast. And then the following broadcast, he shared about the visions he'd seen and what happened to him. And so this video is a little bit of that, of him explaining that, but also what he saw about A and Q. Now, you have to understand, 2012, my dad was picking up on this Q thing. He was seeing Q, which is very interesting. Now, I have to say about Q. I never got into the Q drops and all that stuff. It was too much. I went to the dark web one day. I'd never been there. And I read, okay, I want to read the Q post. I got to go here. So I tried. I ended up at this place and there was all this Nazi stuff. And I left. And they're like, you got to go to 4chan, 8chan. And I don't want to go in the dark web. It's scary over there. There were swastikas everywhere. So I didn't want to be there. So I left. And so what I would do is when people would post and then they would have the screenshots of the Q posts, it was too much. It was too much. I don't have time. So there's some ladies who have been following my dad's ministry and support the ministry, and we've communicated for years, that were really helpful in helping me to see the posts and the things. And I'm just really trying to understand what Q is all about. And so that's something I'm going to ask Gene about next week. Probably General Flynn when he comes on, if he's okay with that. Someone saying Q was not the dark web. No, I know it wasn't, but they said that in order to get to the 4chan, you had to go into the dark web. I don't know where I was. Maybe it wasn't the dark web. This is the point. I don't know what all this stuff is, and I can't follow that. Like, I don't have time. So anyway, I was following what other people, and it was trusted sources, like ladies that I knew from the ministry would send me. So it's not the dark web. AI. Okay, well, why don't we look what my dad saw? Here's the video. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to make that big. Okay. All right, this is about 8 minutes long. We'll stop and start as we go, but let's watch.
Now, there were visions, voices, vices, and victors. I'm just throwing that in so you understand that I saw the vices and I saw the victors. I saw the things that would grip people and how God would set them free. Hold on, please, because when you hear me speak now, you're going to be taken aback in some moments, worried in some moments, other moments. But remember something I said to you, there was no fear. I was caught up, for you saw it, how many minutes it was. And in those few minutes, it's like millions of things were being thrown at me. And so you and I have the right to request of God to take us to places, visions, to give us visions, so we can see beyond the now. And don't ever forget and consider this, that we, as servants of Christ, are stewards of the mystery of God. This is all scriptural. We are stewards of the mystery of God. There are mysteries that God has and ultimately reveals them at the right time. Everything in its time is beautiful. He reveals them at the right time. Therefore, judge nothing before the time. I'm encouraging each one of you, do not judge anything before the time until God appears to reveal the mystery. And he'll bring the light. He'll bring to light, I should say, the hidden things of darkness and reveal the dark counsels of the heart. Now,
okay, I just want to say quickly, that's very important to remember when we are trying to figure out certain things about prophecy. That point he made right there is that God's going to reveal it in the right time. So we may have little lights and clues, but then when God reveals it, then we've been following that along the way already from what he's revealed to the prophets, my dad and others. We can accumulate that information. And then when it is time for the mystery to be revealed, you're going to know. That's the point.
But what I sensed here was, when I was having the visions, it's almost like I was taken, my spirit was taken to various locations to see various things. Okay, so let me share the visions with you so you can understand. I'm giving you this about Philip to show you that these things did happen. Even physically, he was transported. I believe in visions. I believe in even in trances. Peter was in a trance in the day, and he saw things, and an angel came and ministered to Cornelius, and so on. It's very important that you understand that these things are available for us today. You qualify, and this is what I saw. I'll share some of the visions. I was suddenly aware of two angels were speaking to each other. They were not speaking English or the English language as I know it, but they were speaking in another tongue. They were discussing the plans God had for his people on the earth and for a number of nations. You saw what happened to me. I was picking it up, and I heard them, and I actually spoke the tongue that I heard them speaking. It was almost like I was standing there, and then it came into my body, and I was speaking their tongue and their language. But then for a moment, I was completely in the dark. I need to explain this to you. I could feel something, but I couldn't see it. Now, when I say dark, I'm not talking about darkness as in sin. I was in the dark. I could not, I think God didn't want me to see it. Because I was like this, and my hand, and at one stage, I even told them to stop, whatever it was. And I tried to pull away because the inside of my hand began to burn. Now, this happened a few times until I cried out, no more. I couldn't handle any more of this. It seemed like something burning in my hand.
Okay, so just so you know, what he's describing there occurred at the previous broadcast. So he's worshiping, he's prophesying, and he has this experience, and his hand burned. And we actually have that. And so we're probably going to put it on Prophetic Rewind. It'll be up tomorrow on Prophetic Rewind at the House of Destiny Network. You can go to kim.tv, or you can go to the House of Destiny Network, or the app, or YouTube, or Rumble. We'll have it everywhere. And just you'll be able to see. What I may do is put together that part and then this. So we might have 2 dates. So this was on June 21st of 2012. I believe it would have been 3 days maybe before that. And so I'm going to put that up. And before we go, there's just a couple of things people are saying in the chat here that I just want to make sure I don't forget. So everybody's telling me on Rumble and on YouTube, Praying Medic. Now, I do have actually a post I was reading from Praying Medic. I like Praying Medic. I didn't know about his books, though, because I'm not like an avid follower, but I know of him. I've agreed many times with things I've seen him put out there. But I didn't know he had books, so I will have a look at that. And he has his Rumble Q channel. And then you guys were saying how Flynn is denouncing Q or not wanting. And I know that to be true because when I very first met General Flynn, I asked him, "Are you Q?" And the answer was no. and the thing that, and this is something I do agree with, is that one of the messages that kind of seeped, and I don't know if this is coming from original Q drops or if it's coming from, again, because I wasn't like intricately in reading all that stuff. I didn't have time. I was busy doing my dad's stuff. I don't have time for that too. But something that came out with Q was, and this is where I get confused, and this is where I don't really believe it as of now. I could be wrong, so don't get mad, but people will. But here's the problem. Everybody thought Trump's in control. He has control of the military, and all of these people have been hung and executed at Gitmo. And the number of those people has increased and increased and increased. Yet all the people who were supposedly executed at Gitmo are walking around just fine right now. And then everyone's like, well, that's a clone. And so then my question is, why? Like, why would you have that many people executed and then put clones out? Or body doubles or people in masks? Like, why would you waste your time? And if you look at the military right now, I don't know if you've seen the picture of who's like of the leadership in the military, but it's a bunch of men wearing dresses. So I don't know how Trump's in charge of that. So this is where I start to get confused, and it probably could be, maybe I just don't know enough and I haven't followed this enough. But when I'm looking at that, it puts me off. And another thing that put me off is that a lot of people were sitting around thinking, oh, Trump's in charge and everything's okay. And look at what happened in the 2022 elections, that election cycle. Like, we're not overcoming anything because everybody's sitting around saying, oh, well, they have it under control. And, we share the information with each other, but we're all good and everything's fine. And it's not. It's not, because, and this is a point that someone made over here in Rumble about General Flynn, and what he's actually said is that it makes people complacent and they think that everything's okay, and they're not getting out there and saving their country the way they need to. So whether or not you like Q or you're following Q or you believe it or not, because as I told you, I'm on the fence. I don't know. Don't let that make you complacent where you think I don't have to do anything because Q and they've all got it taken care of. You need to become involved in whatever possible way you can. Like, look, a lot of you have lives and children and jobs and problems, and you can't go run for office. Like, I can't even do it. But you can support someone who is. Like, maybe you do it that way. Or you support people who are getting the word out, like me or Clay Clark or Laura Loomer. All those people are having to, we have like this parallel economy going on because we can't use the regular one. We're getting debanked, we're getting silenced, all these things happen. So the only way that we don't have George Soros with all the money to support us. We have to support one another. And so if you can't run for office or get involved in some other way from the bottom down, this is grassroots, you got to go to the bottom down. Any elected, like get elected on your school board, get elected, it doesn't, you don't have to run for president. if you can. If you can't support the people who can, but we should all be involved. And the concern for General Flynn, I believe, is that people weren't doing anything because they thought everything was okay and it wasn't. So anyway, there's that. But let's not forget we have a video. So let's go back to that.
But I became aware of extreme heat and danger. My body was overwhelmed by it was like radiance and fire. And fear struck me for the first time. And that's when I said, it's okay. Because it's almost like I was trying to tell somebody it that was in this vision. But fear struck me for the first time. Was this nuclear? Was this atomic? What was this that I was feeling? Was I interceding on behalf of Israel and America? I believe I was, first of all. But at that point, there were multiple visions. And a question seemed to arise constantly. Armageddon, the slaughter of humanity, an atomic war no one wanted, but which no one had the wisdom to avoid. Now, I need to say that to you again, and I want you to listen to it, because this is what I heard. Armageddon, the slaughter of humanity, an atomic war no one wanted, but which no one had the wisdom to avoid. What were we to pray for?
Okay, so and I'm sure you guys are noticing that for him to say that in 2012, not such a, it was probably weird to people watching at the time. But now that nuclear threat is real. And what's concerning to me is he said he was seeing something nuclear that could have been avoided, but people didn't have the wisdom to stop it, essentially is what he's saying there. And he's talking purely out of what God's shown him. He doesn't have the information we're sitting here with today. This was 2012. He never had some of that information. He never heard of Q, because the last time my dad spoke publicly, prophesied, or was seen, or was okay, was September 5th of 2015. On September 7th of 2015, he had a stroke that took his ability to walk and use his right side or his right hand too, which was terrible for his piano playing. But he could still speak. 6 weeks later, he had another stroke. This was on Thanksgiving Day of 2015, 1-5. After that stroke, he never was able to speak again, because there's a region in your brain right here called Broca's. It's around here somewhere. He had a brain tumor up in here, which at the time of the second stroke, we did not know about the brain tumor. But it was right here. And that area of your brain controls it. They call it the Broca's because named after the doctor who found it or discovered it or whatever. But it controls what you say, not what you hear. There's another part of your brain called Wernicke's that's back there, and that controls what you take in. So if you remember when Fetterman had the stroke and he kept saying, I can't understand what anybody's saying, because damage was done back here in his brain at the Wernicke's. It may not have been damage. It could have just been swelling, because the swelling takes a long time to come down. And so it seems like he's sorted that problem out now, because oftentimes swelling can cause things as well. I don't know what kind of stroke he had. My dad had a hemorrhagic stroke, so it was blood burst, as opposed to the other kind of stroke where it's a blood clot that blocks oxygen to the whole brain. This was targeted to this part of my dad's brain, and the Broca's controls what you say. So you can know what you want to say in your brain. The formulation of those words happens, but then the Broca's controls the pathway that takes those words in your brain to make your mouth move to say them. That was damaged in my dad after the second stroke, because anywhere blood hits the brain tissue, it is destroyed. Now, those new pathways can be created. They used to think that the brain was static, or that was it. But they found in over the years that the brain can create new pathways. So when there's damage, God has given us a most remarkable body. And there are certain, like, how a liver can regenerate itself, or lungs. Well, the brain can also do this, create new pathways and stuff. And had my dad not had a brain tumor, he would have been able to recover. with therapy after that second stroke. But because he had a brain tumor and that cancer spread, he was never able to get to a point where he could have even had the proper kind of rehab. We tried, but things kept. He had 2 more strokes, and every time he had a stroke, it's like 6 weeks, 8 weeks, weeks and weeks. He's in the hospital, then he's in the rehab, then he's coming home, and we went through that over and over again. I believe this was a targeted attack on my dad. I don't believe this happened naturally to him, but that's another story for another day. Now, someone said something in here about Q that I didn't know, and again, I'm quite ignorant. Like someone said in here that the execution stuff at Gitmo was not a Q thing, so I don't know where that came from. I thought it was all these years. I thought it was a Q thing. So, and again, it just shows you that I don't actually know a lot about Q. That's why I don't talk about it very much. And I'm not going against the Anons. The Anons are awesome people, and people are saying, it woke them up, and I'm sure it did. So I don't know, but anyway, let's have a look at what else he had to say here.
For wisdom.
Wisdom.
And the Spirit of the Lord, then that's when he was showing me this weapon that nobody knows about, or perhaps they are ignoring.
Here is going to say the
vision of wickedness and impending danger is due to some device hidden in a place unknown to the present intelligence. That's what I have to tell you. And maybe even ignored. In other words, that's not important. This weapon is in a human mind.
Okay, so we got a weapon in a human mind. Now he's about to, somebody said in here, remember when he said A and Q? This is the one. He's about to say A and Q. This is why I pulled this up today. But very interesting. He's seeing a weapon in a human mind. I wonder if that is connected to Q somehow. I'm not sure.
And the weapon that is in this human mind came to me when I saw some alphabetical letters. I saw some letters. At first, I thought it was A to Z. Now, this is a puzzle to me right now. But God almost said to me, focus on this, so that the mystery can be unfolded. The letters were A and Q. That's all I saw. And he said, that's where it's at. Then I saw Russia, I saw Pakistan, and I saw a connection. That's all I saw there. And I remember that, but I didn't say it. That's important for you to take note of. Go out there and research. Sunil's going to as well. The vision of fire and water. Now, I was absolutely surrounded by evil. And I felt as Daniel did, praying for his people. Now, let me just tell you what Daniel said. He said, while I was praying, the man Gabriel, now remember, Gabriel is one of the most powerful angels, whom I'd seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly. Now, you think about God and time. Why would God need an angel to move rapidly? Because men have power to control things that happen on the earth, because God put man on the earth. So when things happen, they can retard it, they can slow it down, or they can hasten it. And so
see, that's a key thing for us to remember too, is that we can slow something down or hasten it with our prayers and our understanding of what's happening. And that can't be ignored either. I'm just looking at, I've been watching your comments, especially on Rumble. I can't see the YouTube one so well now because I've got this video up. Let me just move this. There you go. Yeah, they're also saying the same kind of thing. Shame. I feel bad because, right, I know what the Anons are. I'm just saying this because I spoke to a lot of them, and they're good people. I'm not trying to criticize. There's so many things that don't make sense to me. And maybe I should just go read Praying Medic's book. But I know General Flynn, and I know his reaction is usually like that. And he's military intelligence and was in Trump's administration and has worked very hard with Trump. And by the way, you guys, he has dinner with them all the time. He's with them all the time. So all this nonsense, please, again, those people that think that General Flynn is against him, this is so crazy. Someone asked about the cat, and I don't want to forget, my new cat is so cute. I don't know How I got so lucky to get such a cute cat. Okay, she's very, very tiny. You saw the picture I posted, and I'll post more pictures this week. She's a tiny little black cat. Her head is so teeny, and she has this little, it's called a primordial pouch. So it's like a little extra pocket of fat on her tummy. And some cats have it more than others. I know my cat people are going to start agreeing with me and filling us in. So watch the chat. But that she has like a big one. So she's got like a fat belly, but she's teeny tiny. And so when she sits down, she'll sit in the windowsill or sit somewhere. And especially if she has her back to me, she looks like a little teardrop because her little belly is so fat, but she's so tiny. So she looks like a little teardrop with a little tail coming. It's like a cartoon, like a caricature of a cat. She's so cute. And the thing is, she loves me and she comes whenever I call. So her name's Luna, but I've started calling her Noonie Noo. And so I sing a little song when I'm looking for her. And I'll go, I've got to be around the cat for the song. Noonie Noonie Noona. Noonie Noonie Noo. Noonie Noonie Noona. And I sing that little song. And wherever she is in the house, I hear her little bell. Ding, 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 and she comes right to me. And then she kind of rolls on her back and lays on her belly. Lays on her back. Sorry. She rolls onto her back and like that. And she wants you to scratch her belly. And it is the cutest thing. And yesterday she was sitting like up on my shoulders. Like she just wants to stay with me. And I let her go. I have an enclosed patio. They're not outside cats. So I have an enclosed patio and I locked it up, put the dogs up, and I let her come out and have a look outside. And she was so interested in all the birds because we've got like woods behind our house. And in the afternoons, it's so loud, all the different kind of birds. I come out there, it's loud. And so she was just watching all the birds and getting fresh air. And that was fun. But she is just the best. I'm so happy with my little kitten, my little Luna. Yeah, I'm watching. You guys are saying Mel K also was a huge Q follower. Look, in the beginning, I was so into it because of this prophecy, this vision my dad had. And he sees A and Q. Now, you have to remember the whole reason I was telling you about the strokes and how all that happened. The point of me telling you that is so that you understand that by the time Q came out, not only had my father already died, but he had no way of even, like, he was so sick. He wasn't even hearing anything like about that information about that or anything. He never ever knew what Q was. And so to go back to 12 years ago, where we are today, and hear him say this is coming. It's again, it's pure because he knew nothing of it. It was before that we ever heard of Q, but God showed him. And what concerns me is that there's a warning and then a weapon and nuclear stuff. And I'm not necessarily saying it's against Q per se, but something's tied up in there. Now, the A and the Q could also mean something else. And you know what? Q did bring a lot of awareness to things. Like, really, it did. So I don't know. Let's ask General Flynn. I'm going to have him come on here with us, and I'll ask him first if I can ask him. He might get mad, but well, he's not going to get mad at me if I ask him beforehand and if I prepare him. I'm not just going to throw the question at him. But even if he does get mad, let him get mad. We want to know what's going on. Okay.
The angel was caused to fly swiftly. That's what Daniel
says. This is important. The time of the evening offering.
About the time.
Okay, so the thing about the time of the evening offering that I think is worthy of note is, why would he see that? So he sees the angel. This is my dad's vision. He sees the angel Gabriel. No, well, he's taking it from Daniel. But he's comparing what happened to him because of the pain he felt in his hand. And Gabriel flies swiftly at the time of the evening offering. So is my dad picking up on a time of day that we need to be wary of? This is something that's concerned me. So let's keep going.
Of the evening offering. And I want you to get this because it's so few people realize and understand the power of the evening offering. Then I saw this as well. Russia was yielding from her. Now, Russia would yield. Now, I wasn't sure what that meant, but I saw ashes, ashes and ashes. And then suddenly out of the ashes arose a charmer. a man, a serpent in a man with seducing power as I've not ever seen before. Keep your eye on Russia. Watch,
If it was
watch what
Putin,
happens.
he would have said Putin.
God told me to pray for
I
that.
don't think he's seeing Putin there.
God showed me a leader in the
Maybe it
Middle
is
East with a weak eye, full of light, yet hidden for a time to be revealed as a voice of God in the Middle East. A young boy, slightly handicapped, being groomed for presidency in the United States of America.
This is that young boy. Okay, now, just so you guys know, I haven't talked about it too much because we've so been focused on Trump through all of the stuff. But Dad also saw February 22nd of 2014, and then again at Miami Cap later that year. In Miami, so interesting, he sees this young one who is amongst them, is how it was described in the prophecy. So he's seeing Trump, and he's seeing the gold, and he's seeing Roger Stone, and he's seeing all the stuff. And amongst them is this young one. And I feel like, okay, so this is what we got to think about now. Trump is only going to have one term. It's going to take more than one term to fix this mess. So we need the person who is president after Trump to also be part of this that we're doing, the movement. And so, yeah, my dad prophesied. People are talking about Putin now. My dad prophesied for years a lot about Putin, and it was not good. So, what was I saying? I've forgotten. Yes, the young one's a Muslim. So what he sees. So we need this young. We need to be looking and praying about this young person my dad saw. He said he would be the first Latino president, possibly, but he saw Latino, that he would be small in stature, and that he would not be a great orator, that they would say, this man is not speaking enough. They'll even say this man is not speaking enough. So a quieter, more humble, smaller stature Latino man. Now, here we are in 2024. We're just focusing on Trump. So we don't even see this guy yet. But he said that his name may be David. He saw the spirit of David rest, just the way he saw it on Trump, the spirit of King David also resting on this guy. And when he was in Miami, he headlined Miami Cap, and then the next day he spoke at the church there in Miami. And he prophesied again about this young one, and then he brought out a mantle and actually dropped the mantle on the platform. He said he was very young now, and that was in 2014. He said, you're young now. So you start thinking like he was young then, that's 10 years ago, and he wouldn't even be a thing until like 2028. So then start thinking about time. This is how prophecy works. It's so deep. It's not just some surface. Oh, there's going to be an earthquake. Oh, the heavens are open. It's not to belittle that. I'm not trying to belittle that. I don't want to come across wrong. What I mean is that when you get into prophecy, it's more than this quick fulfillment, like you're going to see it next week. Like it happens sometimes, and sometimes we need that to happen. I'm not speaking against that. I'm just saying that sometimes in prophecy, and I'm seeing it a lot with what happened with my dad, because of how much he prophesied and then he died. So he wasn't here to pick a side in this weird thing that happened. It all happened after he died. God planned it that way. No matter what happened to my dad, whether it was someone did something to him, because there's so much. No, not Middle Eastern. Did I say? I might have accidentally said Middle Eastern if I'm reading things. No, he's not Middle Eastern, Latino. He very specifically said Latino, the first Latino president. So it's not Vivek. Although he's Indian, he's not Middle Eastern. No, he was just speaking about a Middle Eastern man, though, in the video here. Maybe that's what they mean. He saw a Middle Eastern man who had a weak eye, but that wouldn't be anything for him. He wouldn't be holding office in America, though. But he could do something beneficial for Israel, especially in the West, and you never know. Let's listen.
I then saw flashing in front of me, Fire Point E.
This is
It's
important.
one of the things I noticed in these visions, that there was so much relief and so much joy and victory and happiness and laughter because of.
No, someone said it's not Vivek. No, it's not Vivek. I like
But I
Vivek,
saw
but
Fire Point again. It was going across it, and I caught a glimpse of it, but it said fire, but it was broken up into 3 sections. Fire, points
E.
E. And so if you can write that down, fire,
Write it
point
down.
without the E,
Write
and
it
then
down,
E
guys.
separately. Remember I spoke about the big breakthrough with a big E. Never did I realize when I wrote fire point, when it first came to me, that it would also mean, it was fire point as well, but fire will point to E.
Wow.
It's in your hands.
Okay, so I wanted you guys to see that today because there's a lot in that. You know, he sees Q. For me, any letter in the alphabet he could have seen, he saw Q in 2012. So it's not nothing. And someone's talking in YouTube there about Hispanic and Latino migrants. And he saw that these people coming over the border would have experiences with God. That what is meant for evil, God's going to turn around for good in this situation. And then someone's talking about the dinar. My dad had a whole thing about it. You see, the thing is, at the time he was doing the dinar stuff, I wasn't following that. But someone like Dina Smith, she knows all about the dinar. I have some dinar because of her and my mother. Al Qaeda, AQ, maybe. But he would have just said, he knew what Al Qaeda was. He would have just said Al Qaeda. Rubio. My dad liked Rubio. I mean, he never said he would be president. He just liked him. The E. So the big E was something my dad prophesied a lot about. And the energy. It was all about energy. A new source of energy. He also saw that he had a vision that we would, I got to find it. I don't know where it is, but that we would, in a car, we would be able to choose what form of energy we wanted to use. So it would be a choice. And there were like a few different ways you could do it. I don't know who Tish Washington is. Everyone keeps talking about Tish Washington. Who's that? I don't know who that is. Yes. Okay. So someone says in there that Rubio was running with Trump. And at that time, it's before my dad had the stroke. Rubio was out there because remember, he had the stroke September of 2015. Trump announced June of 2015. And my dad just happened to be in New York City when he announced that. And it was a total coincidence. But during the primaries there, my dad just liked Rubio. He wasn't endorsing him. He didn't think he was going to be president. He just liked him. He just said, oh, I like that guy. But I don't think this person he's talking about is anybody we know. I don't think it's Rubio. He's a well-spoken politician. I think it's going to be something new. And there's something that he saw happening with the Latino community and in LA, in West LA in particular, and what they would do with music. So there's a lot of very hopeful prophecies for the Latino Americans and the Latino people in America. And if you look at Latino and Hispanic families, they are very traditional in their understanding of the family and of God, and they're not easily going to just let go of those things because of the globalist stuff. Like a lot of cultures that have just let go of God. You'll go to some of these European countries that are almost godless now, and they just pass these laws. They're just cool with whatever, abortion and euthanasia for old people and euthanasia for crazy people, and euthanasia eventually would be for anybody who disagrees with the globalists. Well, you're crazy, so that gives us the right to euthanize you. So don't ever give that. They get you under compassion. They say, oh, this person is suffering from a disease they're going to die from. Let's go ahead and euthanize. So we're compassionate because we think this person's in pain, they're suffering, they're going to die anyway. We've got to help them. They use that to put a law in place that then can be used later on to say, because then they'll push it, and just like they've done with abortion, they push it and they push it and they push it. So then it's not like, okay, it's not only just the person with the disease that's suffering and about to die anyway. That's not it anymore. Now it's crazy people. Then it's, well, depressed people. I mean, look at Belgium and some of these countries that are euthanizing young people in their 20s because they're depressed. And the only reason they're depressed is because they don't have God. The only reason they're depressed is because they have no purpose. The reason they're depressed is because look at the world. And you're like, okay, well, then you need to die. Instead of helping these people to realize that they have a purpose, that they're precious, that they're a life and a soul, they're disposable. That is dangerous. So when you start to put things into law, that's why even things we like, sometimes we may not want to make laws, because you have to have foresight to think, where can this law go? Can it eventually be, oh, you're MAGA, which means you're crazy, which gives us the right to euthanize you by law? That's where you have to be frightened of that. That's what we have to be beware of, because then we are bound by law. We cannot be bound by the laws of man. That is going to get us into very big trouble. So, I think we've done everything we can today. DeSantis is Italian. I've already thought about DeSantis, you guys. He's Italian. Ted Cruz is too old. Oh, he's so funny. I love Ted. Ted Cruz is funny because he's like a caricature of a politician. Like if you were going to make a cartoon of a politician, it would be Ted Cruz. I mean, everything to his chin. So I'm done for the day, you guys. I gotta go. We've gone for an hour and 46 minutes, but we did get the video in and all the news, and so I'm happy about that. We've got Gene Ho coming next week, so we can ask him about Q and JFK Jr., and he can answer whatever he can answer. And many other things I want to talk, because my dad prophesied about George Magazine, and I want you guys to hear, and I want to hear about what's happening at George Magazine, because he is the editor-in-chief of George Magazine now, so that's super exciting. And just checking the comments quickly to make sure nothing important has hopped up. Okay, no. Oh, something happened with Robin Bullock last night. They weren't able to air. I have to go look. All right, everybody. Thank you for being so patient last week, and I know I wasn't here with you. I missed all of you. I didn't get to West Virginia Mountain Mama's thing about the if I even start talking about it now, we're not going to go. So I want to West Virginia Mountain Mama. We'll get to you had that question for me about all of our history being a lie, and then when you look at all the buildings and the mud thing, I don't know what to call any of it, but I haven't forgotten you, West Virginia Mountain Mama, the Tartarians. Well, that's something we might be able to bring up with Gene next week. Why don't you write that down, somebody? Let's make sure. Will you guys remember? Just try to remind me next week. And then, yeah, General Flynn is my friend. Like, I could literally pick up my phone right now and call him and just ask him about Q. I just don't want to, he's busy. I don't want to bother him, nag him. About Q, General Flynn. He's kind of like dad-ish to me, like the uncle, like the adult. I'm an adult, but he's the adult.
More adult.
So I sort of treat it like I don't want to impose unless it's serious. I'm not going to just like blow up General Flynn's phone over Q. But if I interview him, then I can talk to him in advance. And I'm sure he's not going to mind. General Flynn is so cool. He might get irritated about stuff, but that's him. And rather he be honest anyway, right? So we'll ask General Flynn when he comes with it. I don't know when he's going to come on. I have to confirm that, him and Roger. But I did reach out to Roger this morning, and I confirmed Gene today. So we'll see Gene next week. And I'll see you next week. Well, I'll see you next week, but I'll also see you on Saturday. And have a look for Prophetic Rewind. Let me just give some announcements here quickly before I go. I've got stuff I'm supposed to remember. Okay, here, this. I'm going to get rid of the ticker. Okay, sorry. Here we go. Prophetic Revelations. This is our newest book that we have released. And it is a collection of letters from the pen of Kim Clement, my dad. And my dad was an incredible writer. He wasn't just a good musician and psalmist, but he was an incredible writer with the pen. And so we collected some things that he wrote and we put it, and really it's all about the prophetic and understanding it. And it is beautiful. So I do encourage you to go over there to the House of Destiny Network, or you can use the QR code there, or just go to the website, houseofdestiny.org, or kimclement.com will take you there too. It all goes to the same place. That's our network. And if you give a donation of $25 or more, we'll give you the book for free, or you can purchase it. However you want to do it. We do encourage you to support us in any way you possibly can, because we don't have the support of mainstream anything, not even a lot of Christians. So you guys keep us going. So we do support, we do appreciate any support, and that's something we can give back to you, because we do really appreciate that you guys have continued to watch us. Just watch us is enough. And another thing we have here is Daily Light. So for a donation of any amount, you can get this. And this is a 31-day devotional. And my dad actually wrote these, and he called them Daily Lights, the Daily Lights. And he used to send an email to everybody on staff and everybody in the family, and a lot of friends used to get this email every day from him. So we put these together into a devotional, and they're absolutely awesome. And so if you don't already have this, you can give a donation of any amount to get this for free. If you don't follow me on X, you should, because all the stuff that I go through with you guys at the end of the week, I'm posting it through the week on Twitter, and we can have conversations on, I'm calling it Twitter, it's X, on there. And I use this now because of the censorship. There's no censorship problem there. And also, it's not as much of an echo chamber. So you have dissenting voices, which is good. You know, we like to be challenged. And I am also on Truth Social. You can follow me there, of course. And you can follow my mother on Telegram. And so there's that. If you shop at mypillow.com, use the promo code Kim Clement, and you'll get a huge, big, fat discount, because we love Michael and Dell. Mom and I interviewed him before, and they sponsor us. So if you are shopping for sheets, pillows, slippers, pajamas, dog beds, all those things, you might go to Bed Bath & Beyond or Target. Don't go there. Go to MyPillow and use the Kim Clement as your promo code, and you will get a big discount. So I encourage you to do that. And also, if you are looking to invest or diversify your financial portfolio, something of which I know nothing about, but Andrew Sorcini at Beverly Hills Precious Metals knows all about it. So go to BH-PM, and also, again, tell them that you can tell them Kim Clement, or tell them the House of Destiny, or Donna. You just tell them, and they will also give you a discount, and they'll give us credit for it too. So it supports them and us and you. So this is a new thing, a new way we're doing this, but it's still an offering. It's still sacred. And it gives us freedom from the tyranny. So do get involved. And even if you don't support House of Destiny, support the people that if you go to these podcasts and you're watching these people, support them, because they have no support aside from MyPillow, or certain people who are brave enough to join on our side and creating this parallel economy. If you watch Glenn Beck, I'm sure you've heard him talk about it. This is kind of the plan. So also, don't miss anything at the House of Destiny Network this week. We have Prophetic Rewind tomorrow. I will put up this Q prophecy that I played for you, and the broadcast from before, where he actually experiences having the vision, where his hand is burned. It's very interesting. And we did put this up on Prophetic Rewind a couple of years back, but I'm going to put it back up. How long ago? 4 years ago. Gosh, time flies. Okay, so it's been a while. So we're going to put that back up on Prophetic Rewind, which will be up streaming at the House of Destiny Network tomorrow. Go to kim.tv, kimclement.com, or houseofdestiny.org. You can watch it. That all takes you to the same place. Or our app. Download our app at any app store. Search House of Destiny and download the app, and you can watch all that stuff on there. We stream from our own app too. And our app is on the Roku TV. So if you are a person like me who watches a lot of these, watches Rumble and YouTube and stuff on your TV, because I have terrible eyes, my eyesight's bad, so I prefer a TV to a phone or a tablet. You can download our app there, and you can watch our broadcasts there, and on Apple TV as well. So Roku and Apple. I think that's everything. It is. So God bless all of you. I'll be praying for you. Pray for me. And we'll be back next week with Gene Ho. Yay. Okay, I'm trying to go away, but I'm doing everything wrong. Why don't you come and do it for me? Bye.
The new year, we're having the biggest sale ever on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save 60% on our Goose Down comforters, the best comforters ever. They go perfectly with our MyPillow bed sheets and duvet covers. Save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels. They're made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. Our seasonal flannel sheets are finally in. You save up to 50% and they sell out fast every year, so order now. They're truly the best flannel sheets you'll ever sleep on. Or save up to 80% on all our clearance items. And this is where it gets even better. For a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
Of Destiny are partnering with you to let our viewers, of course, know about your company. It's Beverly Hills Precious Metal.
Andrew, explain how that works.
So I'll walk you through it right now. So if you go to bh-pm.com, right there on the homepage, you'll see a form that you could fill out. And that form is very important in letting us know how we can help you. So you just put in your first name, last name, email address, phone number. There's a section that says, how did you hear about us? And in there, put Kim Clement. And then there's a portion where you could write a couple of notes down on the bottom. Usually within about 24 to 48 hours, we'll contact you, and then by phone call, and then we'll go over everything with you. This isn't a high pressure deal. We always recommend that if you feel uncomfortable, take a step back, pray about it. You will gain the answers that you need by doing that, and come back to us when you're comfortable.